The last fare I ever accepted was on a Tuesday night in November. I remember because my phone said 11:58 p.m. when the request came in, and I almost didn't take it. My back ached, my eyes burned. I'd been on the road for 9 hours, and all I wanted was to get home, eat something that wasn't drive-through, and sleep until noon. But I accepted it. I still don't know why. Her name in the app was Sarah, 4.9 rating. Pickup at the corner of Whitmore and 5th, an intersection I knew well, right on the edge of the old part of town, where the streetlights were spread thin and the buildings looked like they were leaning toward each other for warmth. I pulled up at 12:02. I remember checking the time because I had a habit of logging my late fares, times, addresses, descriptions. Just something I did to keep my mind sharp on long shifts. She was standing at the curb. Dark coat, dark hair, face tilted slightly down, like she was looking at something on the sidewalk that wasn't there. She got in without a word. I said the usual. "Hey, headed to Delmont Avenue?" She nodded once, didn't look up. I pulled out, and that was fine. Plenty of passengers don't want to talk. That's not unusual. That's not strange. What was strange was the rear view mirror. I want to be clear about something before I go further. I'm not a superstitious person. I grew up in a house where my dad fixed cars for a living, and my mum kept 3 jobs, and nobody had time for ghost stories or gut feelings or things that go bump in the night. You dealt with what was in front of you. You fixed what was broken. You moved on. I'd been driving Rideshare for 2 years by that November, nights mostly. I liked the quiet of it. The city after midnight has a different texture, slower, emptier, like the world is exhaling. I'd seen plenty of strange things in that time. Drunk passengers, crying passengers, passengers who fell asleep mid-sentence and had to be gently shaken awake at their destination. Once, a man in a tuxedo carrying a single red shoe who never said a word the entire ride. Once, a woman who asked me to just drive, no destination, no direction, for 40 minutes, then got out at a gas station and walked away without looking back. People are strange. The night makes them stranger. I had learned not to read too much into things. But the mirror. She was sitting directly behind me, center seat, not behind the passenger side like most people choose. And in the mirror, I could see her clearly, or I should have been able to. The streetlights were sliding past. The dashboard cast a faint glow backwards. There was light enough, but I couldn't see her face. Not because she was looking away. Her head was up. She was facing forward. She should have been looking directly into the mirror, directly at me. But her face was just dark, like the light wouldn't stick to her, like she was absorbing it. I told myself it was the angle. I adjusted the mirror. The darkness stayed. I told myself I was tired. I dropped her at Delmont Avenue, a quiet residential street, houses set back from the road, one lamp lit in one window. She got out without a word, didn't close the door behind her. I had to lean back and pull it shut myself, and when I looked up, she was already gone. Not walking down the sidewalk, not on the porch steps, just gone. I sat there for a moment with the engine running. Then I drove home. She requested again 4 nights later. Same corner, same time, 11:58 p.m., like the app had held onto it, kept it warm for her. Same dark coat, same face down at the curb, same backseat center seat, same destination, Delmont Avenue. I remember the feeling when I saw the request pop up. Not fear, not yet. Something quieter, something like recognition. I accepted it. This time I watched the mirror more carefully, tried to study her without being obvious about it. There was something different about the way she sat, completely still. Not the stillness of someone relaxed or tired, but the stillness of something that has chosen very deliberately not to move, like a held breath, like a paused film. And again, the face, just shadow where the features should have been. Halfway to Delmont Avenue, I said, "Cold night, huh?" She didn't answer. "You doing okay back there?" Silence. And then, right as I turned onto Delmont Avenue, I heard her voice for the first time. "Thank you for coming back." Low and even, like she'd been saving those words for exactly that moment. I said, "Of course," like an idiot, like that was a normal thing to say. She got out, didn't close the door, gone before I turned around. I sat on Delmont Avenue for 6 minutes that night. I know because I checked the time twice and the numbers burned into me. After the third ride, I started keeping notes. Date, time, weather, her exact words if she said any. I have a small notebook I keep in the center console. I use it for mileage, for parking fees, for things I don't want to forget. I started a new page for her. I felt like an idiot doing it. I also felt like I had no choice. The rides continued. Not every night. That was almost worse. Sometimes a week would go by and nothing. I'd start to believe I'd imagined it, that I'd stitched together 2 or 3 different passengers into one sleepless hallucination. And then 11:58 would come around and the request would be there, sitting in the app like it had always been there, like it was waiting. 6 rides, 7, 8. She said 3 things total across all of them. "Thank you for coming back. It's not far now." And once on the 7th ride, in a voice so quiet I almost missed it beneath the road noise, "You're the only one who sees me." I pulled over after that one, just stopped on the side of the road with my hazards on, and sat there shaking in a way I hadn't shaken since I was a kid. Because the thing was, I'd started to suspect. I think somewhere deep and quiet I already knew, but hearing her say it out loud, "You're the only one who sees me," made it real in a way I hadn't been prepared for. I didn't drive again that night, but I came back. Her full name was Sarah Ellison. I found the obituary on a Thursday afternoon, 3 weeks into the rides. I'd typed her first name and the pickup address into a search engine on a whim, or what I told myself was a whim, and it came up on the 2nd page of results. A small paper, small notice, 2 paragraphs. Sarah Ellison, 29, a graphic designer, originally from out of state, moved to the city 4 years prior. No surviving family listed. She died in a car accident on the corner of Whitmore and 5th. The corner of Whitmore and 5th. Her pickup location. The accident happened on a Tuesday night in November, 11 months before I first accepted her fare, at 11:58 p.m. I read that notice 5 times, then I closed my laptop and walked to my kitchen and stood at the sink running cold water over my wrists for a while, which is something I do when my brain gets too loud. I stood there for a long time. I thought about the dark face in the mirror, the stillness, the door she never closed. "You're the only one who sees me." And I thought, okay, she's lost, she's stuck. She keeps requesting the same ride because that's the last thing she remembers, waiting on that corner, waiting for a car, and I thought,
She needs to get home. That's all. Let her get home. Drive her there one more time. One clean ending. I was wrong about that.
The 9th ride was different. She was in the back seat before I stopped the car. I don't mean she got in quickly. I mean I pulled up to the corner and she was already there, already sitting in the center seat, already still, already facing forward. The door had not opened. I had not unlocked it. She was just there. I should have driven away, I know that. Instead, I pulled onto the road and headed for Delmont, and I told myself this was the last time. After tonight, I delete the app. After tonight, I find a different job, a day job, something with sunlight and other people, and no dark corners and no rear-view mirrors. Last stop tonight, I said. She said nothing. I want you to know, I hope you find what you're looking for. I mean that. Silence. After tonight, I'm not going to be able to come back. And then she leaned forward. First time she'd ever moved in the car. First time I'd seen her do anything except sit and breathe and occasionally speak. She leaned forward slowly, and her face came close to the gap between the front seats, and I saw it then, really saw it for the first time. She was smiling. Not a warm smile, not a sad smile. The smile of something that has been patient for a very long time and is no longer required to be. She said, "You'll come back." 2 words, flat and certain as a locked door. I dropped her at Delmont. She disappeared. I drove home. I deleted the app that night. I meant it. I woke up the next evening and the app was reinstalled on my phone. I've talked to other drivers since then. Not easy conversations to start. Hey, have you ever had a passenger who was maybe not alive? You find ways around it. You ask about strange fares, about weird routes, about anything that felt wrong and couldn't be explained. Most drivers laugh it off. Road stories, urban legend stuff. But 2 of them went quiet. One guy, older, been driving nights for 6 years, looked at me across the diner table and said he used to do a regular pickup at Whittimer and 5th, late fares, always the same. He stopped driving that route 8 months ago. His hands weren't steady when he said it. I asked him why he stopped. He said he looked up one night and she wasn't in the back seat anymore. She was in the front seat, sitting next to him. He sold his car the next day and hasn't driven since. He takes the bus now. He takes the bus everywhere. The second driver I spoke to had done 2 fares from that corner before she stopped showing up for him. He seemed almost disappointed when he said it, like he'd wanted her to come back and she hadn't. That scared me more than anything else about that conversation. I recognized that feeling. I had felt it too in the beginning, the wanting. She chooses carefully, that's what I think now. She picks drivers who are alone, not just alone in the car, alone in the way that matters. No one waiting at home, no one who would notice a pattern, no one who would ask too many questions about where you've been all night. She found me on a Tuesday in November when I was tired and aching and almost didn't accept the fare. And I did, and now I can't stop. The app reinstalls itself every evening. I've tried new phones. I've tried leaving the city twice. Both times I found myself back on familiar streets before midnight, the route self-correcting like a compass. Once I pulled over and sat in a parking lot for 3 hours, telling myself I wouldn't move. I fell asleep.
When I woke up, I was on Delmont Avenue and the passenger door was open. I keep the notebook now, not for mileage. I don't track mileage anymore. I write down everything I can remember, everything she's said, everything I've noticed. The way the temperature drops 2 degrees when she's in the car. I have a thermometer now. I measure it. The way music cuts out on certain roads. The way other cars seem to give me a wide berth on the nights she rides, like they can sense something in the vehicle that needs space. I write it down because I think someone will need it eventually. Not me. I don't think I'm getting out of this. But maybe someone else. If you're a night driver, if you work the late shifts, if you know the specific silence of a city after midnight, do me a favor, check your app right now. If you see a pickup request at the corner of Whittimer and 5th, don't accept it. It doesn't matter how tired you are. It doesn't matter how much you need the fare. It doesn't matter if something in you, some quiet and unreasonable part of you, already wants to say yes. Put the phone down. Drive home. Because I accepted it once, and it seemed like nothing. And now the only face I see in my rear-view mirror is hers. And she's always smiling.